What's going on, fam? 2022 has been an unusual and kind of mixed year bag for most, sure, but it was an excellent year in gaming. So, you know what it is, we're doing a top 10 list, because what's a year without a review, right? I don't know what I'm doing. I will say this, so many games came out because of, COVID delays, getting things caught up and everything, that I could cobble together a good solid top 10 list on just all the games I didn't play. Horizon Forbidden West, Splatoon 3, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Pokemon Legends Arceus. There was a lot. But that's, as usual, that's a good problem to have, right? So this is going to be my list. This is my personal top 10 based on the things I play. And I will note, as always with these lists, I'm not doing any remasters or anything, or even remakes, unless they fundamentally change the base game by that much. So Final Fantasy VII Remake made it before in 2020 because it was so very different from the original FF7. It was like playing a whole new game. But this year, that means I'm not including Front Mission First Remake, I'm not including Crisis Core Reunion, I'm not including Tactics Ogre Reborn, I'm not including the Live Alive Remake, because they're still so very much so built on the original game, and it became hard to decide like which one is too close to the original, which one is too new. So to make it easy, I'm not including any of those. But that does give me a far more defined and rigid top 10. So without further ado, let's get to the list. Number 10. Windjammers 2. Yeah, this is basically just Pong mixed with a 1980s beach movie, but it's also dope as hell. Windjammers 2 was a good time through and through. Obviously, the aesthetic plays into it, the differences between all the characters and their color palettes and everything, how thoroughly 80s cheesy it is. All of that is a part of the joy, but the gameplay is surprisingly intense, especially when you have a good human opponent to play against. Some of the variations in maps make strategic usage of your super shot one of the most intense decisions you can imagine. Matches can be just a few minutes or can last seemingly forever, and an intense back and forth feels like a whole body experience. Did I expect a sequel to a Neo Geo game from the mid-90s to be in my top 10 this year? Nope. But I'll vouch for Windjammers 2 any day. Hard.
3 points. Excellent game. Next round.
Number 9. Mario plus Rabbids, Sparks of Hope. I absolutely loved the first Mario plus Rabbids game, Kingdom Battle, so I knew I'd be a fan of Sparks of Hope, and frankly, it didn't disappoint. The combat mechanics are fun and solid, feeling like a natural evolution of Kingdom Battle. Every party member has a very specific skill set and niche they focus on, and while that may lead to some members being for super specific situations, it means no one ever feels fully replaceable, and you always kind of have an idea of when you want to use characters. The worlds are bright and vibrant, the humor's fantastic, and everything about this game just feels bigger than the first. Plus, there's a dope RPG pro-tag styled Rabbid with a Buster Sword kind of weapon, so that's an automatic 10 out of 10 right there. Number 8. Elden Ring. I've been a casual Soulsborne fan since the earliest days, as I got Demon Souls around when it released on PS3, so very little about the formula truly throws me, but Elden Ring is something else. Part of it's the nature of going open world, of course, the freedom to make my own path, for good or for ill, the horse you get to travel with, the sense of maybe there's something cool over there, and all that. But a big part of it is just the scope. Every time I thought, man, I gotta be near the edge of the map, I kept discovering new locales, new castles, new mines, or just straight up new regions. Getting teleported to another realm, trying to find my way back, doing so, running into a boss, taking out that boss on the first attempt, these are the kind of stories that make Elden Ring great. You see, it's a water cooler game. Everyone's taking different paths and doing different things, And all these stories have sprouted up on our own from our individual journeys we've taken. Then when you add in legendary tales of players like Let Me Solo Her, this mysterious player who you could summon who's wearing just a loincloth and a pot on his head with 2 swords, but he would solo one of the last bosses for you, this game has become an experience and something that is truly beyond the scope that you could imagine.
Well, where have you been hiding? I took you for dead. No matter, it's all the same. Lay out your arms then.
Number 7. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Man, I freaking love Kirby. Kirby and the Forgotten Land asks a very simple question. What if a 3D Kirby game was structured the same way as something like, I don't know, Super Mario 3D World? And the answer is that you get a fantastic game. You see, Forgotten Land's levels themselves are fun at base, with plenty of secrets to hunt for and Waddle Dees to save, but it's all the extras that really crank this up. Finding and doing treasure road challenges to get rare stones, using those rare stones to upgrade your powers and seeing new cool upgraded powers for the first time ever. Yeah, Cutter's classic, but Chakram Cutter is so cool. Fire is simple yet effective, but Volcano Fire is intense. And on top of all this, you have the new Mouthful mode abilities that change the way you interact with the level looking for secrets, like Cone Mouth Kirby or Car Kirby. And yeah, I'm a little biased because I got to play co-op with my youngest, and Bandana Waddle Dee is a super fun character to play with several cool moves, making 2-player levels and boss fights a blast. And yeah, even on Wild Mode, it's never that difficult, but that doesn't matter. I don't play to get a sense of crushing a challenge. Heck, it's exactly the opposite. I play because the world is fun, and it makes me smile. It's enjoyable, the game looks gorgeous in handheld or dock mode, the music is superb, and Kirby just makes me happy. He always has, and if Forgotten Land is any indication, he always will. Number 6. Lost Eidolons. My biggest surprise of 2022 was a game I only even heard about partway through the year when my buddy Scott, shout out to the RPG University podcast, link in the description, told me about Lost Eidolons, then mentioned me to their team on Twitter, and we connected and I got to play one of the greatest strategy RPGs I've played in a while. The more I've played Lost Eidolons, the more it's stuck with me just how good and how well made this game is and how much passion was put into it. Every developer clearly had a strong vision, making the game they always wanted to see, and everyone involved pulled the same way, and the results of that are clear. I already did a review in my channel, so I'll toss a link to that in the description as well, and a card in the top right, and I won't rehash all of it, but the fact remains I've played this game a bunch since then, and I might be lucky I don't have a Steam Deck yet, because, to be honest, this game would have absolutely dominated so much more of my time if I could take it on the go. Lost Eidolons is an epic adventure that I had a hard time putting down, and if you like strategy RPGs, you owe it to yourself to check it out.
No matter what it takes, we're going to survive.
Number 5. Vampire Survivors. Castlevania meets Bullet Hell. That's it. That's the pitch. Vampire Survivors has the least amount of gameplay of any game on this list by far, since quite literally the only thing you do is move up, down, left, and right. All the attacks happen on their own, but in that simplicity lies so much depth, challenge, and enjoyment. It's a textbook case of numbers go up, wee, and that's all, but I like numbers going up. They make me go wee. It's that one more run mentality of trying to find and stack the optimal upgrades at the right time on the right character that make you have a hard time putting it down. And now that it's on Game Pass, it's easy to experience on console, on PC, or heck, stream it to your phone, because like I said, the only controls are up, down, left, right. Vampire Survivors is not shy at all about its Castlevania roots, with several tongue-in-cheek references, music that evokes the series, and that's a great thing. I love Castlevania, and I'm glad to get something like this. Here's the real telltale sign of this game being a winner. At some point, I lost my save data with tons of things unlocked and power-ups bought and what have you. And normally that would make me put a game down and walk away. For this one, I just used it as an excuse to play more when I was capturing footage so I could show more things. It's that good. Number 4. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge rocks, turtle power. Listen, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have some of the best games of all time. Manhattan Project, the original arcade game, Turtles in Time, Hyperzone Heist. We're not going to talk about the original NES game, Tournament Fighters. So many of their classic games are iconic. Shredder's Revenge is that, but cranked up to 11. 7 total playable characters, tons of stages and challenges, rockin' music, a slew of cool moves and combos, super attacks, ninja mode, power-ups. Everything about this game just screams, hey, what's 1991 plus 2022? Surprise! Me! And I get to play with my friends or my kids in dope co-op? Listen, beat-em-ups may be old to some people, and that's fine, but they're good, hardcore fun at their base, and you'll pry them out of my cold hands. Shredder's Revenge is everything I could have hoped for and more, and they did my boy Mikey proud, so I guess all that's left to say is Turtle power!
Looks like another victory for the forces of good. Cowabunga!
Number 3. Triangle Strategy. This game, y'all. I was hype as hell before it came out, and given what I knew was coming out this year when it was originally announced, I stated then this would probably be my game of the year. And it came very close. But only because other games were a tick better, not because this one fell short. A game everyone thought was a new Final Fantasy Tactics, I immediately identified the art style and presentation for what it actually was. A modern take on Tactics Ogre, with a branching storyline to match. Every one of your decisions will define main character Serenoa's personality between 3 pillars: morality, utility, and liberty. As the game goes on, you're presented with choices based on those pillars and have to try and persuade your closest 7 confidants towards the choices you want to make based on those pillars, with it being easier or harder to convince them based on who they are and on who you've built Serenoa to be. It's easier for Serenoa to connect with someone on a morality level if he's been following the path of morality. It leads to mass replayability, which is good, because I love the tactical combat. The emphasis on positioning and utilizing allies and status effects and buffs and debuffs, all of it's so good. And the fact that death isn't permanent or like some massive effect other than you lose out on a few more turns of experience and have one less fighter during the battle, it means battles aren't over until they're over, meaning you never give up, you're always trying to find victory. I consider myself a strategy RPG veteran, and there were some fights, especially towards the end, where I had to pore over my moves turn after turn, planning things out turns in advance, calculating every possibility to try and find victory in the hardest modes. And that feeling of finally putting the puzzle pieces together, priceless. Strategy RPG fans got to feast this year, and Triangle Strategy was the centerpiece of that feast. Team Asano has fast become one of my favorite development teams, and I only hope we can get more of this from them.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen.
Number 2. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Oh, Josh, really? Your number 2 game of the year is a Warriors game? Yes, shut up. Oh, this is only because you're a Fire Emblem fanboy. No, you shut up too. This game whips so much ass. The music is dope, the gameplay is fast and visceral, the combat is superb, the supports and character convos are excellent and engaging, the world building, in a world already as rich as 3 houses, is mind-boggling. Flippin' so much you know of this, if you're a fan of the former game, is a treasure, and just, man, I love it! I put about 150 hours in it, okay? And I'm a dad. I literally don't have that much time. I'm still trying to figure out where it all came from. But I actually do know the answer. It's because this is what I kept going back to in my free time through the year. Kept going back into the storylines to max out supports, or unlock different cutscenes, or max out classes or things when it's easy, and because it can be played in 10 and 20 minute chunks effortlessly. The game is dense with content, and it can last you hours and hours. As you can tell, I still haven't maxed it out or anything. But it doesn't have to. It's fun in small bursts, and just beating the storylines is engaging and enjoyable. And especially in your first and second playthroughs, let me tell you, the hardest difficulties will punch you back, especially if you want S ranks. You'll need as much tactical prowess as a Warriors game has ever required, and then some. This game is a Warriors game through and through, a Fire Emblem game through and through, and so much damn fun as a result. Seriously, it just does not get tiring to roll up on some huge group of enemies and unleash a partner special, or to face down some giant demon beast and to pull off your awakening mode and go toe-to-toe with them. I don't regret a minute of time spent on this game, and while it may not be number 1, frankly, not a lot could have beaten what was.
The rumors sell you short, young man.
Likewise, sir. But I'm glad to see you're tougher than they say.
Number 1. God of War Ragnarok. Yes, it's pretty much just a bigger take on the 2018 God of War. Yes, it doesn't really do much new. Yes, it's kind of cliche to put this as my game of the year. And no, I don't care about any of that. God of War 2018 had great combat and mechanics and puzzles, so with this being built on top of that, obviously it was gonna be great in that regard too. But it's the story it tells that makes it stand out. Everything from Atreus' teenaged attitude, to the weariness Kratos feels, to the complex emotions of Freya, to using Sindri as like this perfect consistent foil against both Atreus and Kratos, to the portrayal of Tyr as a broken man and as the shadowed mirror of Kratos. You gotta understand, the original God of War released while I was in high school. God of War 3 still focused on the bloody rage of it all, and released when I was 21. And now I'm grown, with sons of my own, navigating through all the toxicity that was fed to me growing up, and growing to be better as a person, while also trying to teach those sons. God of War Ragnarok tells a very special story, not about death and killing and anger and rage, but about trust, growth, learning, forgiveness, and acceptance. It's a story ultimately about hope and about faith, about the bonds between father and son, between brother and sister, about the scars we carry that we don't show the world. There were numerous points in the story where I just put my controller down and sat with things that had occurred, and I would be lying if I said I hadn't been brought to tears when all was said and done. God of War Ragnarok may not be the most original game with the most new and unusual mechanics, but it tells one of the best and most important stories of any game I've ever played in my lifetime. There are excellent moments. There are powerful moments. There are heartbreaking moments. And the game itself is an incredible adventure in between each and every one of those moments. Plenty of games brought me joy this year, but only one took my breath away and broke my heart. And I'm so thankful I got to experience its tale.
There he is. There's the god of war.
So what do you think? Remember, this is my list, personally, because it's the games I happen to actually play, not counting remakes and stuff, like I said. And that's not even getting into the stuff that I haven't been able to really dig into yet. I got a copy of Digimon Survive. I just haven't been able to boot it up yet. So that's probably going to be what I'm starting 2023 with, just because I have a little bit of a gap and I can. But please, shout out down below. Tell me, what was your game of the year? What were your top 5? Your top 10? You can go as far as you need to. You can give me a top 26 if that's how many games you played this year. I don't care. Whatever. Fill it in the comments. Let me know exactly what it is. Just go ahead and write it down there. And while we're at it, 2023 has got a bunch of stuff coming that I know I'm hyped for. Fire Emblem Engage, Octopath Traveler 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, Final Fantasy 16. There's probably a lot more I'm not even remembering right now. So let me know down below, what is it that you're excited for in 2023 coming out? I would love to share in that joy with you, go back and forth and talk about it. So please, shout it out, let me know. Let's all enjoy the love of gaming because it's something we can all kind of cling to right now. And, I mean, while we're at it, all these games are coming out, and there's no way any of them could get delayed again. There's no way any of them could get delayed. I'm sure it will all be fine. Like, comment, subscribe.